Hello, third grade, and welcome back to art. Today we are going to work on picture number 2 in our perspective unit. And last time I saw you, we worked on creating the aerial point of view. And I saw so many of your pictures that you were working on, and you did a fantastic job. So today we're going to work with a pencil, a ruler, and your paper, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan you down so you can see. And this picture seems a little bit easier, but I actually think it's harder for kids to sort of see when you start putting objects into the paper how the vanishing point works. So let's start off with the basics. We first need to put our vanishing point in the middle. Boop. Just like that. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw the horizon line. The horizon line is the line that divides the earth and the sky. Okay? And I'll go back in with my Sharpie and darken this in a minute. Now, what I want you to do is you are going to touch the vanishing point and touch the bottom corner of your paper and draw a line. Just like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with my Sharpie and darken it in, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so here I darkened it in for you to see, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be drawing on this clear paper today. I'm going to put this on top because I want to show you 4 different pictures that this can turn into just by learning the trick of making things vanish into the vanishing point. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down and just put my clear paper on top. That way I don't have to keep redrawing it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. So now let's pretend that this picture is a road. Okay, so here's the road. These are the sides of the road. And this is where the road is heading to. Okay, so if I put a dotted line at the bottom, that dotted line can be big because he's not by the vanishing point. But as I get closer to the vanishing point, the dots have to shrink because the road is getting further away from us in the picture. Okay? Now, on the side of the road, I want to put some trees. So the tree right here can be nice and big. And I'm drawing a very simplistic looking tree. But that's because this tree is far away from the vanishing point. But the next tree has to be a little smaller. And then the next tree has to be even a little smaller than that guy. And then smaller and smaller and smaller. Do you see? Because they're getting closer to the vanishing point. Now, if I was going to put some street lights on this side, oops, that street light can be big, but as the street lights go down the road, they have to shrink because they're getting closer to the vanishing point. Now, above the horizon line, maybe the road is going into the country, and these are the mountains up above. Now, I'm just drawing very lightly and just sketching, just to give you the idea. Okay? Now, if I was going to put maybe a car on the road, okay? The car that's here is nice and big. And you have to also think about, what would a car look like from the back? You'd see the back windshield, the back tires, the license plate. Do you see that? But the car that's up here has to be so much smaller because that guy is further down the road. See that? And maybe this guy here, he's kind of in between, and he's coming at us. He's on the other side of the road. So maybe you would see the grill. It's called the grill, and the windshield, and maybe the driver's head peeking through. But you wouldn't see much detail because he's not that close to you in the picture. But you see how I would put cars on the road? Okay. There's one thing I want to show you in this picture that a lot of kids do when they're beginning to draw this type of perspective picture. And I'm going to just move this off. See why I drew that? Because I have my picture here. And I'm going to put this on top. Is when they start to draw the trees, they'll get the road part ready, right? That they know how to do. Okay? But when they start to put the trees on the side of the road, they draw the trees like this. Don't tilt your trees. Your trees should stand upright. Do you see the difference? These trees are growing up. These trees are going sideways. So that's a little trick. It's hard to draw the trees upright. Ooh, I think that was like that. Because it's a little bit confusing at first, but you have to make sure that you're drawing your trees towards the sky. Don't draw them off to the side. And same thing with the street lights, okay? If your objects are tilting, you got to stand them up the other way. So now let's take another piece of clear paper here, and I want to show you what else this can be. I can simply draw that dotted line again. The dotted line's always easy to do, so I like doing that first. And now maybe this is a runway with the planes. So instead of trees, I'm going to put maybe traffic control signs for the plane. And again, they have to get smaller as they get to the dot, the vanishing point. And maybe over here, these are those light towers that you see on a runway to help guide the plane at night. Notice they shrink as they go to the vanishing point. And then simply, I'm going to put the plane getting ready to land. And I'm looking at the plane from the front. So it doesn't look like a plane from the side. It has to look like a plane from the front. I think I made my wings a little too upright, but I think you get the point. Now maybe in the sky over here, I would draw a plane sideways because that plane is going this way in the picture, but this plane is coming at us, so you have to show the front. Okay? Just another quick way of using the triangle to create depth in the picture. Let's try one more. Let me move this out of the way and lay that down. Now, instead of a dotted line, let's put horizontal lines going across this. I hope you can see this. My Sharpie doesn't last very long on this paper. I might have to get another Sharpie. But now, I just created train tracks. Do you see the train tracks? And now maybe the train is all the way up here by the vanishing point. Because he's coming down the track. Maybe it's one of those old-fashioned trains with the smoke shooting out of it. Do you see the train coming down the track? And maybe the train just came out of a tunnel. And the tunnel has a, what do you call that thing? A bridge above. So this would be the brick. Now, obviously, I'm drawing super quickly, but you would take your time and put a lot more detail. But there's the brick, and there's the train, and then maybe up a bit up above are, oh, my pen's starting to die, guys. But maybe those are the cars driving above. And then maybe even behind them I'm going to put the indication that there's some trees behind the tunnel, and maybe the sun's over here. And then maybe here, to add some interest in the foreground, that's the part that's up front, I'm going to put one of those things that come down when the train is getting closer. And I can also add over here some more of those lights. Do you see that? But instantly changes the perspective. Now, one more thing I can do with horizontal lines is this here. Okay, so what I did was I got a head start and put the horizontal lines in. But notice what I did. I kept the lines from going off the triangle. Don't let them fall off like the train tracks, okay? And now I'm going to add maybe a little pillar there. And another little pillar here. And another one, and another one. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And now, it looks like a dock going into the water. So here is the water, and this is the dock that you would walk on. So if I was going to put some water, here would be the waves on the sides. Now this boat back here, he's really far away. He's close to that vanishing point, do you see? But the boat that's here, okay, he's a lot bigger, and he goes off the page. So if I had colored pencils, I can color that in, but I'm just going to show you with the black pen here. Okay, so maybe there'd be more detail on that boat because he's closer. He's closer to the vanishing point. Or I'm sorry, he's farther away from the vanishing point, excuse me. So now maybe this boat picture is by the Hudson River. So there's Westchester on the other side. And maybe it's the morning. Maybe there's some beautiful birds up in the sky. And if I wanted, I can put people fishing. But this guy over here fishing is small because he's by the vanishing point. But the guy down here, maybe he is walking onto the dock. He's so close to you in the picture, you would just see the top of his head because he's going off the picture. He's walking away from the vanishing point. Do you see that? So again, I want you to try to do a 1-point perspective picture, putting the vanishing point on the horizon line and making your triangle. So here we have the boat picture. Here we have the train picture. Oops, that's really off. I think you get the point though, right? Here we have the runway. And here we have the road picture, which I'll pop on for you. There we go. Okay, so give it a try. You should have now the aerial point of view and the frontal point of view. Okay, so next week we will be learning perspective picture number 3. All right, so give it a try. I'll talk to you soon, boys and girls. Bye.